Bendigo, slap bang in the middle of Victoria. 80-odd thousand live in the city, another 30,000 round and about it. It boasts a $5 billion economy. Reminders of the gold rush are everywhere, as well as signs of a regional city forging a new path through tourism, the arts and education.
It's been a very careful strategy, and it hasn't happened overnight. This has been a 20-year journey.
And it can be derailed in a matter of hours. When you come here to Melbourne, what do people say to you about what's been going on in Bendigo?
Well, I guess they're quite surprised. Like I'll be down at a meeting with other local government authorities today, and they'd be quite shocked and surprised at what's happened in Bendigo.
This is what's been going on. Rival groups clashing over plans for a mosque, the first to be built in Bendigo. Council has approved it. An appeal to the Victorian Civil and Administrative Tribunal was rejected, but its opponents aren't letting up. In one day in August, the city was in lockdown and in the news.
These protests have basically shut down the city centre.
The barriers were coming in, the police presence was starting to come in, and there was this really awful, sad feeling around town. And I was looking around at all these local businesses that I know so well and going, what's going to happen?
A carefully developed image can crumble under the juggernaut of rolling news coverage and screaming headlines. Anybody not directly involved with Bendigo, this is all they know about this place at the moment.
Definitely. And it wasn't just a loss for local business, it was also a loss of our heart and energy and that vibrancy that we have in this town.
Bendigo's community leaders saw the danger of a carefully cultivated image coming under threat, and they acted on the advice once given by a Welsh rugby coach. Retaliate first.
People were coming together before it even happened, so in the days leading up there was a lot of movement and talk about what can we actually do to combat the following times, and actually is there a system or a process where everyone can join together and have a really strong message afterwards.
And social media carried the message.
We set up the Facebook page before the protests had even happened. So I had a series of photo shots on my phone. We had the Buy Local logo already and just set up the Facebook page. So we were ready to go live the day after.
They got on the front foot the following weekend to actively promote retail and hospitality in Bendigo.
It was actually really exciting because we knew that it would be a positive message, but we didn't probably realise how much people really wanted it to happen.
I think the example is a great case study for...
Dean Millson has watched what's been going on in Bendigo from afar. Well, from Melbourne.
What I think there is good about where Bendigo are at the moment is they already have a strategy. They've thought about how they want to position themselves, which is an arts destination. They're clear about their positioning. So they need to return to that and keep doing what they've been doing. Many businesses or destinations may not have thought that far ahead. So when they're in a situation which is a bit of negativity, they're not sure what to do.
Clearly, the issue isn't going away. In September, anti-mosque campaigners disrupted a council meeting, causing it to be abandoned. And it was an issue on a recent Q&A episode.
Within the regional Victorian city of Bendigo in recent weeks, we have seen violence and racism shut down the CBD.
But community leaders remain resolute.
So there's a lot of positive things happening in Bendigo.
But you have to override the negative of the protest, don't you?
Well, I don't see it as only as a negative, because the message that we're telling Australia is that Bendigo's a welcoming place. We've been doing it for 160 years. So that's got out, and people will see the strength that Bendigo is a welcoming place despite protesters.
As Bendigo battles to protect its brand, its image, does it offer lessons to other towns and cities who find themselves suddenly in the roiling waters of a media storm?
I think they could talk to people involved to get their experiences, but at that point it's actually too late. You need to have thought about it before then, because at that moment, unless you are ready to go, then it's not it's too late. So if you're getting to that point and something bad happens and you're having to pick up the phone, then unfortunately the horse is bolted.
Perhaps the greatest lesson is deal with any negative, perceived or actual, yourselves, and don't depend on a highfalutin strategy.
Well, maybe community spirit's the best marketing you can have, because by creating a positive environment, people want to be around you.
Is it as simple as be proactive and talk to each other?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I think don't wait until after the fact. As we saw, be prepared and ready to see what you're going to do next.